Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are installing a downspout drain. You can see the trench where we're starting. We've cut the sod off here and we're starting to dig. We're just going to dig by hand because it's only about 35 feet. And it's going to tie in or start at this downspout back here. We're also going to add a little catch basin right here to pick up this low spot of water right here. So we've pretty much got our trench dug out, trenched out. You can see it comes all the way down here to the curb. We're going to put a pop-up here at the end, which is just allows the water to come up and flow out onto the ground. It's called an emitter, a pop-up. We're going to go ahead and go underneath this cable wire, and there's also a sprinkler over here that we've got to go under. Finish trenching this little section, and Paul's just putting a T on there so we can go ahead and put a small basin, a small drain over there to pick up that low spot of water. Okay, so now we're pulling our pipe down through the trench. You can see we had to go underneath those sprinklers and the cable. We just pull it up here to the downspout, and then we'll make some cuts, hook up the downspout, and we'll be done. So now we're making the measurement for the 90. We're just going to cut off the T. I'd cut it right where the end of the saw is. That's too far. Too far. Right there, yeah. Just cut right through the pipe. Then we make a little slit in our pipe because we've got to insert it into the PVC. That's good. And you can see we've already hooked up the downspout. Comes over, has a T. We squeeze this pipe together and just slide it inside of this white fitting. Straighten it up and set it down in place. Throw a little bit of dirt on there just to hold it in place, and this line's ready to cover. It's looking real good. You can see we've got it installed. Pipe goes all the way out to the street, comes out to a pop-up, which is the emitter, and these guys are covering the line up out here, and it just comes out to the pop-up and discharges there. The hardest things to do on a wet day, you can see it's really gray and cloudy. It's been just drizzle out here for the last few days. Probably the hardest thing to do is to get it clean up, and we're going to put the sod back on here, but because it's red clay, it does make kind of a mess, but we'll still try to make that look really good. You can see we're almost ready to go ahead and start taking the soil to the back and get rid of the excess soil, and then we'll just go ahead and cover, put the sod on, and we're done. The secret to getting dirt out of your grass, notice how Paul just makes little tiny pulls. He just pulls that dirt right up and leaves the grass there. Good way to clean off the area. Again, it's wet, so you can see there is a mud, but that'll wash right away. What we're interested in getting up is the pieces of dirt. All our sod put back. We're just doing the final rake. You can see that things really get muddy on wet grass, but we've got this side we'll rake the other side. You can see the sod looks pretty good. It'll all settle back real naturally, and in a few weeks you won't even be able to tell we were here. Remember, that secret is to pull your rake little tiny pieces, and you can see when it's wet it grabs a lot of the loose thatch, the loose grass, so you're basically thatching your yard at the same time. Go ahead and take your soil as much as you think you can handle on back. You can see we're taking it all the way back through the backyard. It's nice when you have an extra place to put soil. That really helps on your job and your cleanup. We've got a natural area back here. We're just going to dump the soil. Don't dump it in that pile. Take it to the left or right. There we go. You're taking your dirt away. Make sure that you always point your wheelbarrow in the direction that you're going to go. You notice that we're pointing this direction here. We're taking the dirt back to the back of the property and dumping it behind the fence back there. I know it sounds silly, but always point your wheelbarrow in the direction you want to go. When you're on a hill, you can see how tilted that really is right there. That wheelbarrow wants to fall over, and it's really hard to turn it around. Make sure you point in the right direction. So when you put your sod on, if you cut it off properly, what you need to do is lift up each piece that you're putting down and really get a good connection so that it stays nice and tight. That way you don't see any seam in your sod. We'll put that back down, stomp it in the ground, and that'll be done. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.